Hello, beautifuls. Thank you for joining us tonight. We are live, and you are watching Pain to Power. I'm your host, Ava Love. I am also the founder and chief executive director of Tabula Rasa Domestic Violence. Pain to Power brings the conversation to you, so join us. Let us hear from you. Tell us your thoughts, your concerns, and your suggestions. So come on in and join the conversation. Hello, beautifuls, and welcome to Pain of Power with Ava Love. And I am your host, Ava Love. So thank you for joining us today. I just wanted to say to you all that we are back. It has been such a long time, about a year or so, that we have been on this platform, but we are back to bring you more resources, information, and stories. And let's talk about the things that are going on today with the high increase of domestic violence. Unfortunately, we have lost a lot of individuals and we have had a tremendous increase in the incidents of domestic violence, unfortunately. And with so many things taking place, we want to not just bring you just the topics of domestic violence, but we want to bring you all resources. We want to help bring solutions to the community to be able to have a dialogue with one another, talk about things and solutions and ways that we can assist, information that might be needed, and how to be able to reach those that are in need and are not getting the information nor the help that they actually need. Domestic violence is not a personal situation. It is not just somebody's issue, one person's issue. It is a community issue. And unfortunately, we still have some individuals who feel as though that they do not need to be involved. Well, we want to talk about some of those things because we have had a numerous of situations where individuals stand by and some watch and say nothing and do nothing. And we don't want to continue to have a situation such as that because anybody can experience domestic violence. And unfortunately, it could be anyone, anyone's child, or it could be any one of you. We don't always realize the situation that is at hand or what can actually happen until those things happen. Sometimes people think, oh, that couldn't happen to me, that would not happen to me. But unfortunately, it has happened to too many people. So, with that being said, we definitely want to come back and begin to bring that information and those tools to the community for those who may be experiencing domestic violence and those who may not. Because even though if you never have experienced domestic violence, it is still information and resources that you can pass along to others within your community, those who you come in contact with. Because once again, a lot of times individuals do not talk about their experience of domestic violence, but it does show up in many different ways. So I do want to just kind of do a reintroduction of Pain of Power and talk about how does domestic violence show up for individuals and where can you go and get those resources. Once again, I am also the founder of Tabula Rasa Domestic Violence, and we do have a website which is Tabula Rasa Domestic Violence .org, which is www.tabularasa.dv.org, or you can go to www.escapedvnow.com and you can click on there. And we do have a place where you can obtain resources, information to begin to help you with that dialogue. So all you would need to do is actually go to the website, click on Get Help, and go to Resources. We have a lot of free information there that you can download. Have some conversations with your family, your children, your loved ones, those in your community. Have that dialogue about domestic violence. Ask individuals, do they fear going home? Is there someone that they are afraid of? Do they feel as though that they are being mistreated? and have those conversations. A lot of times individuals just don't realize that domestic violence is happening to them. Domestic violence, and it comes in many different forms. So you do have the access to those resources to be able to understand the types of domestic violence. And we are going to discuss some of those things at this point as well. So let's just kind of talk about some of the types of domestic violence that are out there that a lot of people are not aware of. We have within domestic violence, many people are clearly aware of physical domestic physical abuse, and that physical abuse is threatening to harm you, block you from leaving, grab you, someone who might kick you, choke you, just keep you where you are, or physically put hands on you, punching you, biting you, slapping you, strangulation, not choking, but strangulation. Choking is an inward act, but strangulation is an outward attack. That where someone's hands are literally placed around your neck to keep you from being able to breathe. That is strangulation. Using weapons, throwing things, breaking things, punching walls or doors, driving recklessly with an individual with you. Those are things that are physical, physical abuse. Someone punching, cutting, pulling your hair, things of that nature. Emotional abuse. That is a form of intimidation, embracing you, embarrassing you in public, insults, putting you down, talking downward to you, do not respect your feelings, making threats, being jealous, possessive, controlling, excessive or threatening in text messages, wanting access to your messages, email, social media, cyber stalking you, verbal abuse, someone cursing at you, yelling, shouting, continuously arguing, interrupting you, talking over you, putting you down constantly, threatening you, and using threatening language and tones to cause fear, calling you names and forms of intimidation and mocking you, as well as abusive language. Economic abuse. Economic abuse, it happens a lot. Withholding money, joint accounts, but you have no access to it. Giving you a limitation of what you can and cannot take. Forces you to leave your job. Forces you to get fired. Shaming you for how you spend your money. And not allowing you to work or get an education. Putting all the bills or credit cards in your name and preventing you from using your car or having access to it when you need to or when you would even like to. Mental abuse. Mental abuse, it's playing mind games with you, twisting everything around so nothing is their fault or their behavior. Accusing or cursing something or causing something you did or saying you did it or did not do it. Accusing you of doing things that they are doing, lying, manipulation, control, or sex. Threatening to out you to your parents about different things that could lead to situations where you are involved with same partners, friends, classmates, your sexual orientations. And then there's sexual abuse and marital rape. And yes, you can be raped during marriage. A lot of people don't look at this as being abuse or rape, but it is. Forcing you to have unprotected sex or to get pregnant, to have an abortion, sexing, forcing you to have sex with other people or to watch your partner have sex with someone else, forcing you to use or participate in pornography. That is a form of sexual abuse as well as marital rape. Social isolation is also a form of abuse. And social abuse is isolation, and a form of abuse often closely connected to controlling behavior. It is not an isolated behavior, but the outcome of many kinds of abusive behavior. There is also spiritual abuse, which is not really discussed a lot. But spiritual abuse is not limited to a certain religion or denomination. Any person of any belief system is capable of perpetrating spiritual abuse, just as anyone can be the victim of it. Signs of spiritual abuse between intimate partners include when an abusive partner ridicules or insults the other person's religion or spiritual beliefs, prevents the other partner from participating in their religious or spiritual beliefs, uses their partner's religious or spiritual beliefs to manipulate or shame them, forces the children to be raised in a faith that the other partner has not agreed to, and use religious texts or beliefs to minimize or retaliate abuse, abusive behaviors, such as physical, financial, emotional, sexual abuse because of it. Stalking. Let's stop on this for a moment because, I don't think a lot of people take this to um, understand that stalking truly is a form of abuse. And too often, especially for men, they kind of shy away from this stalking. And you've seen many situations where as though women will stalk a man, have a girlfriend to follow them or go to their place or a place that they have seen them visit and have that girlfriend to go there and pull information, have conversations with that individual, unbeknownst to that other partner that is someone that their partner is familiar with, and obtaining information and details and things of that nature, and will continue to follow even that other person. A lot of times these things go unreported because they have not really been taken as serious as they should. But stalking is stalking, whether it is a male or female. Stalking is an abusive behavior. So I just want to reiterate on that situation because definitely it is something that is continuously overlooked, especially with males. Legal abuse, also known as judiciary terrorism. Now, there are two types that greatly affect the survivors after leaving the abuser. The abusers often use these forms of abuse to keep control and fear in the victim. And the first one is vexatious litigation. It is a legal action which is brought solely to harass or subdue an adversary. It takes the form of primary frivolous frivolous lawsuits, or maybe the repetitive, burdensome, or unwarranted feelings of meritless motions in a matter in which is some otherwise um, a situation that calls of action. So we have to really think about that. This is when someone is utilizing the court system to be continuously abusive to their significant other or their ex partner. The other is post separation abuse, which continues to escalate and often far surpasses the DV that victims are subject to while under the same roof as their abuser. After the relationship ends, the perpetrator sets their sights on the children to exert control and to terrorize their healthy partner. Even high conflict custody battles has three basic narratives: the abuser's need for control, the abuser's need to win and the abuser's desire to hurt or punish the healthy parent. Now, these are all types of abuse that you can actually, and there are others. There's also cyber stalking and things of that nature. But you can go onto the website, which is www.escapedvnow.com, and you can go to resources, get it, and go to resources and download this information. And I do once again urge you all to have that conversation with your family, have that conversation with your loved ones so that you all can know and definitely understand what abuse is and what it is not. And so that for those who may not be familiar, especially our young children who may be also within dating violence, and we know as parents a lot of children should not be dating and do not have that permission. But unfortunately, they end up in that situation. And it's important for us to have the conversation to make sure that it's inviting so that they will be able to feel comfortable and secure and safe with being able to have that conversation and talk about those things. Whether they're right, wrong, or indifferent, those things can be worked out later. The most important thing is to ensure the safety of your children and your loved ones and to let them know that they have a non-judgmental environment where they can be able to discuss whatever it is that they're going through freely and in a place of love and without being judged. So let's kind of go back. Let's go back and kind of talk about the situation where today we are seeing so much domestic violence taking place. And it's gotten to the point that it is outside of the four walls of an individual's home where it has spilled over into the community. And it goes in not just outside within the neighborhoods, where it also follows into the workplace as well. But let's have a conversation first about our neighborhoods and how it follows into the opening nowadays. What do we do and how do we begin to even help someone that we might see that is in that situation and keep ourselves safe as well? The most important thing is that one, if you do see something, make sure you do keep yourself at a safe point and that you do contact the police most definitely and let them know what is going on. You don't have to state who you are. You can just merely give that information of what is going on, the location, and remain anonymous. You do not have to report your information or your address, but definitely say something. We have our children that are out here, and we have to remember that just because it may not be your child doesn't mean that it couldn't be. Or it could possibly be you. You will want someone to definitely say something to bring help to you to be able to rescue you from your situation and not leave you to possibly lose your life in the midst of that situation. You definitely would like someone to step in and do some form of help, not just watch and record. We are at a age and time where individuals are recording, and yes, recording it does help. It does provide information, but we need more than just providing the information for the after the fact. But that person, that individual needs help now. They are at a critical state. There is a life and death situation that is taking place, and that individual needs help at that very moment. So calling 911, getting someone in, letting people know that this is not a joke and someone needs to respond as soon as possible, that it is a life threatening situation to be able to help someone, help save a life, say something, make a call, even if you're not saying something directly to that individual. We know that others don't want to lose their lives in the midst of helping someone else. But at the same time, how can you safely help someone else as well as protect yourself? We have to make those choices to be able to speak up. And sending a video at the last moment, it helps, but it doesn't always help to save that life. So we definitely want to be able to be encouraged not to just record, but to record and to speak up. Call 911 as soon as possible, as soon as you see the situation. Because sometimes just engaging is not enough. Sometimes it goes beyond that individual even realizing that someone is there. They are at a point, that abusive individual, where they do not care. And they will do whatever they're going to do wherever, with whomever watching. Definitely have that communication, have that relation. So I want you all to log on. If you have any questions, submit your questions to me. There is an email address at the bottom. I want you all to have send in whatever questions that you may have. You don't have to attach your name to it. If you want to send it from an anonymous email, you can do that as well. Just send in a message. Um, any questions that you may have, any things that you might have thought about, or even if you are someone that may be experiencing domestic violence and you don't know how to get help, you don't know where to go to get help, or you have tried to get help and you have come to your wits' end where nothing has been able to work out for you. Reach out. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk about what it is that we can do to assist you. But there is always, always a way out. It's never a doom situation. All you have to do is speak out, contact someone, and let them have a conversation with you. Don't be ashamed. Going through domestic violence, it is not a one type of situation or a one person situation. Different people from different income brackets, different levels, different calibers of individuals have experienced domestic violence as well as sexual violence, sexual assault as well. Don't be ashamed about it. Speak up, say something because you matter. And it does matter with your life. So many people get affected through the violence that they experience, through being traumatized throughout their lives, or yet just going through the trauma that they have experienced. It becomes not just a mental or psychological situation. That trauma often leads to physical ailments, and those physical ailments can carry on for a lifetime because of the trauma that someone has experienced. And it affects you greatly. So don't be bound by the trauma in your life or your past or things that are taking place now. It is important that you get out of that situation and you heal. You begin to go through that process of understanding that you are worthy to receive help, to live a healthy life, and to live a life free from abuse. You do not have to live in that situation, regardless of what it looked like, regardless of income, regardless of a person being that child's father, regardless of the love that they proclaim, because you still deserve even more. Abuse is not love. It's nowhere near it. Even if they say it, it's not love. Love is kind. Love will protect you. Love will cover you. So we want to make sure that we understand that even though someone may say that they love you, Their love is not love if they are abusive to you, because their love will want to protect you and wouldn't want any harm done to you one way or the other, even if it was by themselves, from themselves. So call in, let's have a conversation. Let's talk about what it is that you have experienced and the things that you need help with. What resources can we give to you and help you with? And let's talk about those who have overcome and have went on to build a beautiful, healthy life even after the trauma. So once again, I am Ava Love, and this is Pain of Power. We are basically reintroducing you to this platform to get ready as we begin to bring in guests and have topics about domestic abuse, relationships, and not just being in an abusive relationship, but what to do after you have overcome your trauma and the abuse and you have begun to move on, because there is life after trauma. There is life after domestic violence. And there is beautiful life that can happen after domestic violence. So I do want you all to know that. Do know it does happen. It is there, and you can rebuild after all of this and heal. And know this, that healing in the process is not a destination, but it is definitely a journey. It's a lifetime journey. And so, as I always say, I am healed and healing. Therefore, we will continue to learn something new each and every day in the process of healing that we need to heal from and grow and develop and become a better person, a better us, a better version of who we are, and a greater self for us and for others. So I am at my end of today's show. And I just want to say to you all once again, if you have any questions, feel free to email me at aross at tabularasa.dv.org, or you can actually go ahead and go to the website at www.escapedvnow.com. Once again, that's www.escapedvnow.com. And I am Ava Love, and thank you for joining us with Pain the Power.